Welcome to today's team call. Is it May? It is May 18th. What the hell? That's crazy. It is May 18th, and I'm so glad that you are here with me today. What to know for this week? First things first. There we go. What to know for this week? First things first is Divine Summit. We are taking over Nashville July 15th through 17th, and we do still have some spots available in the house. If you haven't seen pictures of the house, OMG. It is freaking life and absolutely amazing. We have a pool, we have like a big library nook, all the things, a rooftop. It's going to be amazing, okay? So, and I did have some people who were concerned about the sleeping situation because maybe you're introverted. Hey, I am too. And you can ask some of the girls that helped me plan. Like, this was a big worry for me because when I get in big groups, sometimes I get overwhelmed. So really making sure that we had the quiet, separated space for ourselves so that you could recoup, you could get time for you, but still also be a part of this big community. So how it's going to be set up is each unit is going to have 6 people in it so that you have your space, but we are also all together. We have the entire 5th floor and it's gonna be the bomb. Okay, so that's the first thing. If you have not registered yet, make sure that you register so you don't miss out on any details and you reserve your spot in the units. Second thing is the Divine Retreat. We will be in Hilton Head October 14th through 17th, and I hope that you are going to be there to join us. It's going to be absolutely so much fun, and you can actually start earning it now. The qualifications were posted. Wait, maybe I have not posted them yet. So qualifications will be posted in Divine Dynasty tomorrow. I know they were already announced in Emerald Tribe, since that's where a majority of the working coaches are. So they know those. I will announce them in Divine Dynasty tomorrow. Let me make that note. All right. So now what to know for Beachbody. Most importantly is Control Freak is launching May 24th. So it will be in Beachbody on demand as of May 24th for everybody who has Beachbody on demand. Maybe you haven't done it yet. This might be a good idea for you to forward plan if that's something that you're wanting to do. Also, in the what to knows for Beachbody is a shipping decrease. They are dropping the percentage of the price of shipping in the US, which is pretty freaking awesome because our shipping is insane. So that should take effect on the 20th. Yay. I can't give you exact details like number wise because y'all know I'm not your numbers girl, okay? But there is an FAQ on that. I forgot to write the FAQ number down. But if you go into your back office, you can find it there. Also, tomorrow, there is going to be a surprise announcement. It's a product announcement, and it was accidentally slipped on the IG page today. And drum roll, please. I may or may not have gotten the picture. Okay. This was what they had to say. So anyways, that's what I've got. Don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking. Oh, April's like, show me again. That's it. That's all that was shown. That was it.
I saw it. I just was wanting more.
Oh, no, I don't have more. There's going to be a product announcement tomorrow, and I'm assuming the champions page, so be on the lookout there. That's all that I have for what to know. So let's just dive into this team call. I'm super, super, super excited to sit here and talk with you tonight about saying yes to you because this is really hard. I don't know about anyone else. I am that person. I will show up for everyone else. I will show up and give and give and give and love and love and love and help and help and help because it truly is my heart. It's what brings me joy. I love helping other people feel good. But what I have found is oftentimes I take that responsibility and I stop giving to myself. And especially as a mom, especially as a wife, especially as a friend, especially as a coach, it's so easy to say yes to everyone else that I kind of get lost in my own translation of like, where am I even supposed to be in life? And maybe you haven't had that life contemplating point where you're like, is this all that there is to life? But I definitely have. And so that's why I want to dive into this topic with you. The topic is called Say Yes to You. And if you can relate or you need to hear this, then sister, buckle up, give me an amen in the chat, and let's get going. So first things first, let's just be real. Society has these insane standards. I don't know about you, but I get the feeling that the world expects a certain pattern, a certain ladder, a certain way that things are supposed to be, right? You go to high school and you get your degree, and then you're supposed to go to college and get that degree, and then you get your big girl job that you're so proud of, and then you get married, and then you have babies. And when you do all that in that order, that means you have a successful life, right? Then from then you just get to work and work and work until you die, right? Because you already made it. Does anybody else feel like they have that underlying lie of that is how life is supposed to be? Maybe you are the person who did things out of order and you feel some sort of taboo or stigma, or like you don't belong, or like you messed up. Because I think that so many people can relate to that. The thing is, there is no one specific path. And even if society puts those standards on us through so many different ways, I want you to know that there is no perfect way, and that the only way to live your life is a way that feels good for you. So screw society's standards. Let's let go of that, and let's instead move on to you. What if your dreams don't actually line up to those societal standards? What if your dreams look totally different? What if the life that you imagine doesn't have kids, or doesn't have a marriage, or is totally backwards and out of order? Who cares? That's my thing. Who says you can't dream big? Who says you can't live loud? Who says that you have to play small? Who says you have to stay in that box? Who says that you have to follow those rules? Because tonight I'm saying F all the rules. I know it's really, really hard when you're thinking about, gosh, where you want to be 5 years from now, right? Because I don't know if you've ever been asked that, or you've ever asked yourself, okay, today, right now in this moment, I want to ask you guys all now, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? A lot of the times we subconsciously go to the place of, oh, I'm going to be at this point in my societal rung, right? I'm going to be here. I'm going to have accomplished this. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But the reality of it is that life happens one day at a time. And while you can set those 5-year goals, those 10-year goals, what if what you imagined 5 years ago isn't where you are going to be at this point, right? So right now I could say, oh, in 5 years, I would love to do this. But what if that 5 years time I get there and I'm like, you know what? That was a cool dream, but I'm actually like, pivot, let's detour, because I have something better in store. What if your dreams don't line up? Girl, go after your dreams. When you're getting those whispers, when you're getting those ideas, when you're getting those pulls, they're there for a reason. And I never, ever, ever want you to quiet that voice. I never want you to shut down those whispers, because those whispers are actually the thing that are pointing you in the right direction. That's your internal compass. Your internal compass is saying, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? And I don't know if you have read Big Magic, but if you have not, definitely put it on your list, because that book is so freaking good. Big Magic essentially talks about when you have an idea, the idea is given to you, and you either take it and do something with it, or it is given away to someone else who will do something with it. This is in part with your dreams too. Whether you take that whisper and that pull and that insight and you run with it, or whether you let it sit back, someone else is going to take it if you leave it laying around, right? If you're not willing to step up and take action, someone else will. And I'm not saying it's a competition, but I'm saying it was given to you because you have the power. I'm saying it was given to you because you are the person. You have the grit, you have the integrity, you have the courage and the confidence if you just take that first step. So if your dreams don't line up, go after them. That's a good thing. The thing is that fear keeps us so stuck so many times. We want to be comfortable. We want to avoid judgment. We look for that acceptance. We want to be rewarded and accoladed. We want to be celebrated, right? You got to be willing to give up the small things for the long run, though. Get out of that comfort zone. Being comfortable your whole life is never going to get you where you actually want to be. It's going to get you right where you have been up until this point, right? Being comfortable will keep you small. Being comfortable will make you stay in those lines, and then you're going to get to the end of your life where you're working, sleeping, and eventually you're going to die, right? Get out of the comfort zone. Step into the scary. Step into the unknown, because that's where all the beauty happens. That's where all the growth comes from, is when you're willing to stand up and learn, when you're willing to stand up and do something different. So be willing to sacrifice. Maybe you're sacrificing money. Maybe you're sacrificing time. Maybe you're sacrificing whatever it is. Get on freaking comfortable. And let me just say, if you're that person who is so afraid of the judgment, people are already talking. People are already talking, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's strangers, they're already talking. They already have an opinion. They already have something to say, whether you like it or not. And that's just human nature. And it sucks, right? Like, you would think that all those people who love you are going to support you always, but that's not always the truth. Why? Because guess what? They have fear too. So they judge the things that you do out of their own fears. So regardless of what they will say, what are you going to say when you get to the end of your life? Are you going to say, oh, yep, I stayed in that box because I didn't want Grandma Judy to say that I was being crazy. I didn't want my mom to tell me that I couldn't chase that entrepreneurial dream. I didn't want my friend to say that my outfit looked weird. Who cares what they say? If you're happy, they should be clapping for you. And if they're not, peace out, Girl Scout. You need less of that energy in your life and more people who are going to hype you up. That leads intentionally into acceptance. We look for those friends. We lean on those loved ones. We put our worthiness and our worth, how we feel about ourselves, into their opinion. Guess what? Their opinion doesn't matter. If they can't accept you for who you are, they aren't the people who should be lifting you up, hyping you up. If you have not read Buy Yourself the Lilies, whoa, I don't know what happened. If you have not read Buy Yourself the Lilies, I highly recommend it, especially for this acceptance and this friendship piece, because I am that person. I've always looked to just be accepted. I just want people to understand me, but I realize like they're not going to understand me because I'm not normal. I'm so unique and I'm so incredibly different and I'm so incredibly special. And I know that if I step into my light, step into who I am, I get to shine and I get to be me. And guess what? More people who think like me, who act like me, who dream big like me are going to come after that because they see my light shining and they want to shine their own light too. So let go of looking for acceptance and worth from other people. How about you start looking for acceptance right here? How about you find worth inside you? It's not about what you do. It's not about who you are. You are already loved. You are already worthy right as you are. Gosh, from this weekend, I have 0 words. I physically, literally cannot explain the feeling when you're at the bottom of a canyon that's hundreds of feet deep and you're at the top of a mountain and you see land for miles. All you realize is how insignificant you actually are in this world. But that's the miracle, right? God has created all of these beautiful things around us, this amazing, vast world that's so incredibly different. And of all those creations, he also chose you. He chose you to be here. He chose you to live. He chose you to be in this position. He chose you to live through these lives so that you can go on and help other people. How freaking cool is that? It was the most humbling experience for me ever. And if it's not on your list to get out west, freaking make it on your list because you will just be blown away at the pure beauty and magic of what's out there. And then the accolades. I know I am that person, like pat me on the back, shout me out, lift me up, let me know that what I'm doing is pretty freaking awesome because I kind of think I'm a big deal, right? But I'm never going to celebrate myself. I'm never going to shout me out. Instead, I'm looking for that attention from other people. My ego needs stroked. Let's just be real, right? But if I'm stuck in that fear of waiting for my ego to be celebrated, guess what? I'm always going to be stuck there. I'm never going to chase that next big thing. I'm never going to go after that crazy idea. I'm always going to be afraid of whether or not I'm winning all the big titles. I'm hitting all the crazy points. I'm helping all the people, right? Quit chasing the accolades. Start chasing the feeling. Start getting real with what you want in your life because that right there is going to be the difference maker. Get over your fears because your fear is not going to help you get anywhere you want to be. It's going to keep you small every single day. So that leads me to the question, who are you really? What makes you happy? And I want you to think on that real quick. Do you know who you are? And if you don't, you can say no in the chat. Like, girl, judgment-free zone. Some days I don't know. I'm still discovering who I am. What makes you happy? Again, no judgment if you don't know. I'm still discovering that for myself. But I think that's the thing. We don't ask ourselves often enough who we really are. Instead, we go through life being told who we're supposed to be. We go through our life getting cues from the world around us, from the people we're interacting with, playing small, getting big, trying different things to really show up as this person we think we need to be for them. That we don't actually know ourselves. What makes you happy? We don't know what makes us happy because we are too busy giving and giving and giving and giving and giving to other people. Once I became a mom, I put that as my sole title, the one thing that I needed to be, and I forgot everything about who I was. Shit, let's be real. I didn't even let myself discover who I was growing up. I was too busy proving myself to my family, making sure I wasn't disappointing anyone, making sure I was the model student, the model child, so that I didn't upset anybody. I never gave myself a chance to be happy. And so here I am. You have seen me in real time, showing up and learning, figuring out what does make me happy, being willing to learn and be creative and just have fun. Have you actually dove into what makes you happy? Not being a mom, not being a wife, not being an employee or a business owner. What makes you happy? Truthfully. Listen, the thing is, if you're not true to yourself, you will always feel overwhelmed. Give me an amen. Say yes. Let me know if you, in the past year at all, have been full of anxiety, crazy overwhelmed, or feel and pray for a freaking break. Because, girl, same. But we get those feelings because we are showing up in a way we think the world wants us to be, instead of listening to what we need here. We're putting something away. We're putting it under lock and key. We're shushing it. We're keeping it quiet because we have to show up as that person during a pandemic. We have to show up as that entrepreneur keeping her business going. We have to show up as that mom who is so strong when we're trying to stand up for our kids. We're not true to ourselves. We're not being real with what we're struggling with. And so that overwhelming feeling is just sucking us in because we aren't being us. We're being strong. And let me just tell you, strong is a bluff. People can see right through that. You're so cute and I love you so much. And I know that you're strong. You don't have to be. Quit trying to prove yourself to people. Quit trying to be so strong. Okay. Now, the real way that you kind of uncover who you are is you get really real. And this is where a lot of people stop, okay? This is where a lot of people are like, that's cute, but no thank you. Because they're not willing to ask themselves questions. They're not willing to be, what's that word? An observer of their own life. Objective observer, maybe that's it. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Drop it in the chat because girl, I know you know exactly what I'm trying to say. We're not willing to ask ourselves questions without shame, without judgment, without beating ourselves up. I want you to stop all of that. The only way that you're going to figure out who you are is getting real with what you need, what you want. And you're not going to be able to do that if you don't ask yourself questions. They're not shame questions. It's just simple. Yes or no. This or that. That's all that it is. So if you want to figure out who you are, then the first thing that you have to do is you have to acknowledge the dream, no matter how big or how small that whisper is. For me, my dream that I've been ignoring is the dream to travel the world, right? I've had this dream. We've paid off all our debt. It's essentially kind of like the next piece, the dream that I've had since I was 7, to travel the world and share about it, to tell people about different cultures and just like experiences, because that's something that I didn't get as a kid. And I don't know why that's my dream or how it really leads to my bigger purpose. But we got to a point where Kenny and I, our dreams weren't quite lining up. And he told me like, I don't want that. And I've already lived a life without my husband and I didn't like it. I choose him every single day because I know what life is like without him. So I choose him. And so when I came to that realization, like, we're just not meeting, I kind of let that year-long adventure dream go because it's just not our season of life. And that's the truth. But instead of just letting it wait, I just kind of totally let it go. Like, all right, that's fine. We'll just adventure now and then it's not a big deal. But the truth of the matter is that dream hasn't gone anywhere. The dream actually has been cooking back in the backyard, right? Where I left it sitting, thinking that nothing would happen with it and it's just fine. It's been back there growing. Like this little plant, even though I don't have a green thumb, it's back there growing, and I'm seeing the possibility, and I'm seeing the reality, and I'm recognizing that this can be my life right now. Like legitimately right now, I could make this my life. So many of us are leaving our dreams in the backyard, when if we would just bring them inside and sit with them, talk about them, to them, get to know them, acknowledge what you're thinking, acknowledge what you want, acknowledge where you want to go. Just saying that dream out loud is going to open up so many more opportunities, so many more doors. But the reason that we won't bring it in from outside is because we're afraid of what we're going to uncover. So the second piece is you've got to uncover the fear. What is that thing that's stopping you from going after that dream? Me? I guess when I picture my road trips and my adventures, I picture it as a family. I picture it with my husband. I picture it with my kids. And I've done this for the last 8 years. I haven't gone on the adventures. I haven't done the things because, let's be real, a mom and 3 kids trying to do this on her own, it's chaos. And it steals some of the joy. But the truth of the matter is, I could have been doing this and we could have learned how to make it work. But instead, I was sitting in my fear of the discomfort. I was sitting in my fear of the impossible, of, oh my gosh, this is going to be a pain in my ass, that I actually didn't do anything about it. But if I just actually unpack that fear and I uncover what truly is there, then I learn a little bit more about what it's going to take for me to get to that dream, right? So acknowledge the dream, uncover the fear. And the third thing you have to do is you got to do your cost analysis, right? What's your worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, if you go after this dream, what is going to happen? Worst case scenario. What is the worst thing that could happen if you start stepping in the direction of your dreams? And it's going to look different for every single dream, right? But for me, the thought of sitting at home in my house every single day, not going after these adventures, costs way more than going and doing something without my husband, right? It costs way more for my kids not to be able to experience the world than it does for us to go out and do something. When you realize, when you get down to the truth of the matter, you recognize that the cost of not going after your dream is actually way bigger than the cost that it's going to be to just take the action, right? You sitting there doing nothing will cost you more in the long run than slowly showing up every single day to build that dream. I think a lot of the times we feel like it's a rat race. We feel like if it doesn't happen tomorrow, then we're just not going to do it. But the truth of the matter is, it's one step at a time. It's one little brave action every single day. You can honestly create whatever future you want. All it takes is your imagination, your grit, consistency, belief in yourself, and belief of those around you. It's possible. And I'm sure right now you're already acting into your dreams. You're already showing up for what you want to create. You already are building that piece of life that you imagined. You're just not recognizing it, because that big dream is so much bigger. But if you really break it down, you're already doing things to move yourself forward. You just got to be more intentional. You just have to have more belief. You just got to put some grit behind it. You got to be willing to sacrifice. Stop playing small. Stop waiting for the dream to happen, because you are in control of where your future is going to go and how fast you get there. The truth of the matter is, when you do that cost analysis, you're going to recognize that you really have nothing to lose. I mean, think about it now. What do you have to lose by being you? And by being you, I mean by chasing that dream, by doing what makes you happy, by letting go of those societal standards, by forgetting the acceptance. What's it going to cost you? Your comfort zone? Maybe some money, maybe some friendships, maybe some love. It'll cost you attention. It'll cost you sleep because you're staying up hustling. What are those things that are going to cost you, right? And when you really break it down and think about it, even if you lost all of those things and that dream came true, isn't it going to be worth it? Because I know for me, absolutely. We fight so hard for acceptance. We fight so hard to fit in. We fight so hard to just be seen. But the truth of the matter is this quote has been my saving grace for the past 2 years, right? Your circle should want to see you win. Your circle should clap the loudest when you have good news. If they don't, you need to get a new circle. If people aren't going to accept you, if people aren't going to cheer you on, listen, they are not your people. Because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. 100%. I don't care who it is. So it's really time that you get real with yourself. What's the whisper that you're ignoring? And I know each and every single one of us have a whisper going on right now, right? Maybe it's to travel more. Maybe it's to save more money. Maybe it's to have a better marriage. Maybe it's to build a coaching business. Maybe it's to lose weight. Whatever that whisper is, you're not listening to it. You're not listening to it. Maybe you are. Maybe you're one of those people who's showing up and you got the grit and you got the belief and you know, and it's just slow going. Keep listening. Let it get loud. Stop it from being a whisper and start screaming it from the rooftops. What's that dream that you have on your heart? What is that thing that you're holding on to so freaking tight? Are you envisioning it every single day? Are you talking about it to other people? Are you believing that you're creating it right now? What would you love to see in your life a year from now, 5 years from now, freaking today? What can you do today to get into that place for where your dreams are going to be built? When you think of all that, ask yourself, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from going after it right now, today? That's the truth. For me, I always wanted to be an adventurer. I always wanted to get out. What was stopping me? Well, first it was finances. Well, then we knocked that out of the woods, right? Like debt free. Then it was time. I was too busy. I wasn't too busy. I was making myself too busy. Then it wasn't having support from other people. I have no one to watch my kids when I go on adventures with my girlfriends, right? That's bullshit. I've got people here who are going to fight for me and stand up for me. What you realize is the thing that's stopping you is actually your excuses. If you want it bad enough, then you're going to figure out a way. 100% hands down. You want to know how I'm successful? Everybody can look at me and say, oh my gosh, look at her. Look what she accomplished. Look what she's done. I wish I could do what you did. You know, the thing that took me to this place was that I didn't care what anyone thought or said. I didn't care what got in my way. I was willing to show up with grit, with integrity, doing whatever it takes to create whatever I want. Then I let my fear take over. And guess what? I didn't recognize it at the time, but I do now. And I know where I'm going from here. And what's stopping me? Freaking nothing. Every single day, I'm taking that next step. Every single day, I'm doing more and more. Getting real with me. It took personal development, even beyond my personal development, really digging into my fears and my stories that I keep telling myself to figure out what was actually stopping me. And the answer is I was stopping me. And I'm sure you can say the same for you. You are stopping you. When we are caught in this space of judgment, of comparison, of what everyone else is doing, that's what stops us. So I want to challenge you to ignore what everyone else is doing. Your life, this was a quote from the book, I don't have it down here, Good Vibes, Good Life. And he says, ignore what everyone else is doing. Your life is not about everyone else. It's about you. Instead of focusing on their path, pay attention to your own. That's where your journey is taking place. Dude, water your damn grass. If you want to travel, figure it out. If you want to save money, figure it out. If you want a better marriage, figure it out. Show up and take action, because that's the only thing that's going to get you from here to there. There's nothing in between. It's 100% you, 100% today. That's it. Bottom line. Yes, there's going to be struggles. Yes, there's going to be hurdles. Yes, there's going to be speed bumps. Yes, you're going to feel like you're going to have to jump off of a cliff. That's part of it. That's the growth process. That's how you figure out how bad you freaking want it. You put it in the universe, and guess what? What's going to happen? The universe is going to challenge your ass. How bad do you want it? I want it really freaking bad, right? I hope you want it really freaking bad. I hope you can believe in yourself enough to go after it. But know that change takes time. It's not a race. It's not going to happen tomorrow. So stop competing with the person next to you. Stop competing with the person on Instagram. Stop competing with what your mama says. Stop judging them for what they're doing. Stop judging them for what they're not doing. Stop judging her. Stop judging you. Start loving. Start loving yourself. Start clapping for other people. Start looking for inspiration and lifting people up. Your shitty attitude, your judgment, your competition is the thing that's creating that tension, is the thing that's stopping you from taking that next step. And it's natural, it's human, there's nothing wrong with it. But you have to acknowledge it and you have to say, all right, I am being that person. I'm being the one who's stopping me. I'm being the one who's comparing myself to everyone else. And I have to stop doing that. Instead, take action, because action exits anxiety. And the only way you're going to get through that place is to freaking climb. So go after it every single day, taking that action. For me, it really comes down to that end of life scenario, right? When I get to the end of my life, when I'm at the pearly gates and I get there, am I going to be able to look back and be like, look at the life that I built? Look at the life that I created. Or am I going to say, shit, I thought I had more time. Damn it. I wish I would have done this. Because that's the only option. The only guarantee that we have in life is that one day you will die. And I don't mean to be morbid, but girl, it's facts. One day you're going to die. And when you get to that place, let's say it's tomorrow, are you going to be able to look back on today and say, gosh, I lived a life that I loved and I was so proud of it? Or are you going to say, shoot, I was too busy working for someone else. Shoot, I was too busy in that toxic relationship. Shoot, I was too busy judging me. I mean, I don't know what your answer will be, but you do. The thing is, the only person that can help us say yes to us is us. The only person who can say yes to you is you. The only person who can say yes to me is me. But when you say yes to yourself, the whole world can see it. They see your happiness. They see your confidence. They see your joy. And I'm not saying do it for them. I'm saying do it for you. Because when you do what you need for your heart, for your soul, for your happiness, that compounds for other people. And they have that hope and the belief and the reminder that they can too. So I want to ask you today, right now in this moment, what do you need? And don't give me some BS excuse, because trust me, I can see through it. Right now, today, what do you need? What's that answer? Drop it in the comments, right? What is that answer? Today, what I needed was to slow. So what did I do? I just spent an hour snuggling my kids, and it was the best feeling, and I feel good. Obviously, I'm here with fire, excited to talk to you guys, right? What does your soul need? For me, it was a getaway. And guess what I did this weekend? I got away and I took time for myself, and it felt so freaking good. And I can show up in this life giving more to my family, giving more to other people, because I genuinely feel good about me. So what do you need? What will make you happy in this moment? And I will be honest, I ask myself this question all day long, every single day, because that need for your heart and your soul and your happy, it can change minute by minute. It can change day by day. Don't think that it's a blanket thing. Every single day is a different experience. And when you can understand that not every single day is going to be perfect, not every single day is going to be top notch, not every single day are you going to be able to crush it and kill it and go on and on and on. Every single day is going to be different. Every single day, it's a matter of you getting real with yourself and asking those questions, not for judgment, but to learn about you. When you can give to yourself, man, that's when everything changes. So that's what I have tonight. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or takeaways before we stop tonight's call? I'm gonna mute myself while I read through these.
I need to watch this on the daily, I feel like, because you're super fired up and I'm like, I love it. But yeah, I definitely need to, that's the process that I'm in right now, is the what actually makes me happy and what I want to do and where I want to be in 5 years, because I have huge audacious goals that I want to be at some point, 5 years or whatever down the road. I don't know how long it's going to take or whatever, but got to figure out me first. So
I think the thing that excites me the most is the future that I don't know. And it's getting to discover that. I'm in that process right now. Chills, tears in my eyes, like, oh my God, how exciting that I am in a place that I can dream like that, because I let myself take a really big step. And I took that leap of faith that we didn't know if it was going to work out or not, but we did it anyway. You know, sometimes it's like those uninformed decisions, those knee-jerk things. That's what I'm really good at. I'm really good at uninformed decisions, and I'm really good at last-minute things. I'm last-minute Amy, if you don't know. I do everything last minute, but then it's, at the same time, I want to plan. But it's like that future that I just don't know what the future holds. That's so exciting, because we really don't have any set in stone anything. Like, we can go wherever. My husband said to me the other day, he says, keep making that good money so that I could go part-time. And I'm like, I really got to thinking about it after I said, listen, asshole, I need all of the money. But after that, I'm like, what if we could? What if we could just pick up and go? We have no roots here. We have no roots anywhere now. Like, we can make all new routes, and I can achieve my dream, and he could be home with the kids, because that's really not my dream. My dream is to travel. My dream is to be everywhere. My dream is to make my work the traveling and meeting people in person and doing something. It's just, I'm just not there yet. And that unknown future is so freaking exciting. Not meeting people.
True introvert here, just saying. But no, like that's really the beauty, Amy, is like, if we just let ourselves like stop playing small and step into the future, like there are so many insane possibilities. Like, it's so incredible, but we are so taught to live in this cut and dry life that we don't think past that, right? And I am very much a purpose-driven person. Like, I want there to be purpose behind what I'm doing. Like, I know that I get judgment from people who don't see that or don't believe that, but I 1000%, like, I haven't had a dream on my heart since I was 7 years old for no reason, right? Like, I don't know what that purpose is, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I'm going to be, but I know there's something behind it, and I know that it feels good when I'm able to inspire people. This weekend, I had like 20 messages in my inbox, like, thank you so much for sharing this because you're giving me hope. And I'm like, girl, I'm hiking a mountain. Like, what do you mean? Me sharing pictures of me camping at midnight is giving you hope for what? Hope for what? But that's just it. That's what everyone prays for, is that freedom. Everyone wants to believe that they can be more than just the 9 to 5. Everybody wants to know that they are more than just the mom. Everyone wants to know that their life actually matters too, because it does. And I know, as I look at your faces, that it's so easy to get caught in that place of, well, I have to work. Well, I have to do this. Well, I have to take care of my kids. Well, I have to show up for everyone else. What about you? What about you? When are you going to show up for you? If you're not fighting for you, who is? 100% hands down. And maybe you think your dream is silly, and maybe you think that it doesn't matter, but it does. It so matters so much, because if you're that mom, we are the creators of the future. Our children, every chain that we are breaking, everything that we are unlearning, we are giving our children that gift to move forward in their life. We're giving them the power to know that they are capable of anything that they want. We are showing them that they don't have to play small or be someone different. We are giving them permission to be them to the fullest. And that is so beautiful. I'm so excited for you guys, but I'm so excited for what you're teaching your children. I'm so excited for how you're showing up in your life, because you are giving them a gift. Because you are showing up for you, you are being that mom. They get to look at you and they get to say, wow, look at how amazing she is. Look at what she did. I know that whatever I ever dream of is possible, because I saw my mom do it from her phone while she was working a 9 to 5, right? Like, I saw my mom every single day in the gym, dancing in our living room, showing up for herself and her happiness. And that's beautiful. That's so freaking beautiful. That's it. I'm obviously fired up about this topic. If we have no other questions or comments, I will close out tonight's team call. Oh, let's take a picture though. Okay.